Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Michael Coldesina, and I'm the manager of travel industry accounts with Sports Travel and Tours. Thanks for taking some time out of your afternoon or late morning to join us when we talk about baseball from A to Z. Just a couple of quick housekeeping items before we get underway. Your phone or the microphone on your desktop or laptop computer has automatically been muted, so you don't have to worry about inadvertently disturbing the presentation. And then also I will be answering questions. The way we will be facilitating that today is that the module that popped up when you logged into the presentation has a question answering feature where you can type in your question at any point in time during the presentation, and then at the end I will be answering all questions. So please feel free to type in at any point in time, and if I need to stay after 5 or 10 minutes to get through all the questions, then I will certainly do that. But with no further ado, let's get underway here. Sports Travel and Tours is in its 20th year of operation. Our 20th anniversary will be October 1st of this year. We've been offering fan travel packages to games and events all over North America and select international destinations. We're best known for our baseball road trips, our pro and college football gridiron getaways, Hall of Fame travel packages both for baseball and football, and the many classic events that we offer, such as the Kentucky Derby, U.S. Open, and Tournament of Roses Parade. Our experience and attention to detail and customer focus have enabled us to have a return guest rate that is constantly above 60%. We've also partnered with great organizations such as the National Baseball Hall of Fame, which allows us to offer many exclusive features on select tours. Let's start with our baseball road trips, because that's really our number one product, not just with baseball, but for all of the programs that we're offering. If you're not familiar with the baseball road trips that we run, a baseball road trip is anywhere from 3 to 11 or 12 days in length. They travel the U.S. and Canada, seeing major league games and major league parks. Along the way, we may visit museums, historical points of interest, local attractions, and wherever possible, we include guided tours of the ballparks that we're visiting. We also allow independent leisure time, so you have time to explore a city on your own. Baseball fans keep choosing Sports Travel and Tours because of the detail and preparation that goes into our road trips each year. Our trips offer you the opportunity to see great games and stay in great hotels that are centrally located. Most of our trips are point to point, so you don't waste time doubling back, which means less time driving and more time seeing and doing. As I mentioned earlier about the stadium tours, this year there are 13 different stadium tours that we're offering in our different trips. Some stadiums don't do stadium tours on game days, and so based on our schedule, we're either getting in too late the day before or leaving too early the next day to be able to include them. But 9 of our trips offer 2 stadium tours or more, and you can see the great list of stadiums that we do. We always can do Yankee Stadium, Camden Yards, often Fenway as well, Wrigley Field. Because those stadiums are so popular, they run tours all year round, even on game days. All right, so I'm just going to go through some of the high-level details of our baseball road trips. Not too much detail, but please take a look at either our website for details for each trip, or if you have not received our 2016 baseball brochure, please let me know. My contact information will be up at the end of the presentation. So our Texas Two-Step High is a 3-park, 3-game tour featuring 6 different teams over 6 days. The trip starts out in Denver with a game at Coors Field between the Reds and the Rockies, and then travels by air to Houston, where we have a a Minute Maid Park game with Houston Astros and the Oakland Athletics, and then follow that up at the end of the trip with Seattle Mariners and Texas Rangers at Globe Life Park in Arlington. Our Central Express is 6 parks, 8 games, 12 different teams over 11 days. This trip starts out in Chicago and goes and sees games in Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, St. Louis, and Kansas City. And as you'll see with a number of our longer trips, this trip being 11 days, we will also offer the first half and last half of the trips as a separate trip. We realize that all of your clients may not be able to take 10, 11, 12 days off, so we try to give them as many different options to do our trips as possible. So the Windy City Plus is actually the first half of the Central Express, 3 parks, 4 games, 6 different teams over 5 days, and the 4-bagger is the last half of the Central Express. We also have some flexibility that if, let's say on the Central Express, your clients didn't want to arrive on day 1 in Chicago, maybe they could only arrive for the day 3 starting with Milwaukee, then we do have that flexibility to adjust the pricing and eliminate the different features that they would not be using on those first days of the trip. Okay, moving on to the West Coast Classic. This is a 9-day trip featuring 6 parks, 7 games, 10 different teams, basically all of the stadiums between Seattle and San Diego. The first half of that trip is being offered as the Northerner, that just includes Seattle, San Francisco, and Oakland. And then the SoCal is the last half of that trip with games in Los Angeles, Anaheim, and San Diego. Our Lakes River Harbor trip is 8 days, 5 different parks, 6 games, and 9 different teams. Games in Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore. And then our Downtown Retro is the last half of the Lakes River Harbor. So if you don't have, clients don't have time to do everything, we do try to have options for every possible scenario. Our East Coast Memories, this is, has a unique feature to it called the UMP's Eye View. A number of our East Coast trips have this feature. This is usually happens on the first day of the trip at the trip reception and trip dinner. It's a approximately 30 to 45-minute presentation by former Major League umpire Al Clark, who spent a total of 26 years in the major leagues. He gives a great presentation talking about different experiences he had both during the regular season and in many of the divisional league championship series and even World Series games that he officiated. At the end of the presentation, he does open up for questions and answers, and it's a really great feature to kind of get a better handle on how games are played and how the interaction is between the players and the umpires. Anyway, this trip, 6 days, 6 different teams, 3 parks and 3 games, with games in New York City, both with the Yankees and Mets, and then also in Boston with the Red Sox, and spending a day in Cooperstown at the Baseball Hall of Fame. Our Southeast Beast, this is 5 days, 3 different parks, 4 different games, and 6 different teams, starting off in Atlanta and then flying to Miami with games in Miami and St. Petersburg for the Tampa Bay Rays. Any of the flights that are listed in the middle of the trip, those are included in the price. Transportation via motor coach, rail, air, whatever it is that we're featuring is always included as part of the package price. And of course, hotel, game tickets, any listed sites and attractions, all of those fees are covered as part of the package price. Each year over the last 5 years, we've tried to offer at least one trip that features both minor league and major league games. This year we have the Major Minor Pennsylvania, which is an 8-day trip with 6 different parks, 6 games, and 11 different teams. This trip has major league games bookending in Pittsburgh at the beginning and Philadelphia at the end, and along the way there's minor league games in Altoona, Harrisburg, Allentown, and Reading. Our triple play is a great package if you want to see some historic parks in Boston and the newly remodeled, or I should say newly built, Yankee Stadium, modeled after the old one that was torn down, plus spending a day in Cooperstown at the Hall of Fame. This particular trip also features our UMP's Eye View program and is always popular year after year. Our Holiday Heaven is a 6-day trip featuring 2 parks, 4 games, and 5 different teams, starting off in Toronto and ending in Boston and spending a day in Cooperstown at the Baseball Hall of Fame. Our All-Star Plus features not just the All-Star game itself, but the Home Run Derby the day before, admission to All-Star Fan Fest, and before the All-Star Weekend, then a game at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Our Eastern Loop covers pretty much all of the teams between New York and DC. This one does not travel to Boston, but it does include a day at the Baseball Hall of Fame, actually 2 days at the Baseball Hall of Fame for Induction Weekend at the end of July. This also features the ump's eye view at the beginning of the trip. Our going yard is the first 5 days of the Eastern Loop, also of course with the ump's eye view, and this trip ends before going to the Baseball Hall of Fame induction. Our Seattle Induction Special, 7 days, 2 different parks, 2 games, and 3 different teams. The reason it's called the Seattle Induction Special is because all of the games feature the Seattle Mariners, 2 games in Toronto at the beginning of the trip, and then a game in Pittsburgh with the Pirates at the end of the trip. And of course, with Ken Griffey Jr., who finished his career, I believe, with the Seattle Mariners. He is being inducted this year in the Baseball Hall of Fame, so this is a great package if you've got fans of the Mariners or Ken Griffey Jr. We also have our Induction Plus trip that we run each year, games in New York and Boston at the front and back ends of the trip, and then the 2-day weekend in Cooperstown with the induction. Our East Coast Classic, this covers all 6 stadiums between Boston and Washington, and also is a feature with our ump's eye view at the beginning of the trip. And then our East Coast Sampler is the first half of the East Coast Classic, and our Mid-Atlantic is the last half of the East Coast Classic. One of the features that we've been offering for the last 13 or 14 years came about because of customer feedback. We regularly put out questionnaires at the end of our trips, and the majority of our passengers were telling us that their desire was to see all 30 Major League stadiums at some point in their lifetime. So we put together our Stadium Hall of Fame program. The first time your clients travel with us, either on one of our hosted baseball road trips or one of our custom trips, they receive a passport to baseball. It's about the same size as a U.S. passport, has a page for each Major League stadium. Each time they go to a different stadium on one of our trips, they get a sticker. It shows that the date of the game and the matchup. And when they have been to all 30 Major League stadiums, we invite them to Cooperstown, Hall of Fame weekend in July, and we hold an induction ceremony in the Hall of Fame. This picture that you're looking at now was the last induction class in 2013. 39 new individuals were inducted. And then our next induction will be next year in 2017 over Induction Weekend in late July. So it's never too soon to start planning for spring training. Packages should be available starting in late October or early November of this year. Pricing here listed is based on the 2016 pricing, but it shouldn't change too drastically. The sample package was a 5-day, 4-night package including 3 games, a hotel with daily breakfast, and a car rental with unlimited mileage. You can always do more nights, more games, less nights, less games. It's completely flexible. Most of our guests do stay 5 days and take in at least 2 to 3 games, but we can also offer packages, like I said, with any combination. If they are driving to Florida and they don't need the rental car, we can always remove that from the pricing. I'd say the Tampa-St. Petersburg area is our most popular Florida spring training destination, solely because of the number of teams that train in close proximity. The Detroit Tigers, New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays, Philadelphia Phillies, Pittsburgh Pirates, and Baltimore Orioles all have facilities that are less than about 60 miles from Tampa International Airport. Orlando is probably the next most popular area because of the 4 teams that are within about an hour's drive of Orlando. Nothing beats, though, Arizona if you're looking for great spring training in a close proximity. There are 15 teams that train in the greater Phoenix area. None of them are more than about a 45-50-minute drive from Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport, and no 2 teams are more than about an hour apart. Plus, you can't beat the Southwest for great winter weather or scenic natural beauty. The way our packages work, they can be, if we're doing a package that includes 3 games, any 3 games. So your clients would choose the games. If they were going to see the San Francisco Giants play in Scottsdale, they could do 2 Giants home games in Scottsdale and 1 Giants away game wherever that may be. So based on the schedule and when they're traveling, they get to pick those games at their request. We have 2 packages for the All-Star game this year, which is in San Diego. Our 5-day package comes with 5 days, 4 nights hotel. It includes daily breakfast. It includes admission to All-Star Fan Fest. If you do not know what All-Star Fan Fest is, it is part traveling baseball museum, part merchandise bonanza, part interactive exhibits, both in terms of hands-on baseball clinics and then also hands-on video interaction games and events. And this takes place, I believe, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday over the All-Star weekend. It also includes tickets to the All-Star Futures game, which is an All-Star game in and of itself, pulling players from the AAA League. It pits the best U.S. players versus the best international players. Also on that Sunday evening is the All-Star Legends and Celebrity Softball game, where former Major League players and celebrities are on 2 different mixed teams with 2 celebrity and All-Star captains, and they play I believe it's a 6-inning softball game. Monday is the All-Star Workout and Home Run Derby, and then Tuesday is the baseball game, or the All-Star game, excuse me. If you have clients that are looking just for the All-Star game itself, we do have a 3-day package with hotel, daily breakfast, car rental, and both admission to All-Star Fan Fest as well as the All-Star game itself. Now, new for this fall is our Cuba baseball experience. If you follow baseball at all, you know that baseball is extremely popular in Cuba. In fact, it's the one common element that really brings Cuba to a fever pitch. The sport originally landed in Cuba in the 1860s, along with citizens returning from travels abroad in the United States, and then also with American sailors that were in Cuban ports. Baseball really took the island nation by storm, and it's fully rooted in Cuban culture. The first Cuban league was founded in 1878, and in 1899, professional players from the league formed the All Cubans, which was the first Latin American team to tour the United States. Our trip is $6,800 per person based on double occupancy from November 5th through November 12th. It includes round-trip air from Miami to Havana, 1-night hotel at the Pullman Miami Airport Hotel, and 6 nights hotel in Havana at the Melia Habana. Also included are airport transfers to and from Miami International Airport and Jose Marti International Airport in Havana, baggage handling for 1 checked and 1 carry-on luggage, all breakfasts, all lunches, 3 dinners are included, gratuities to porters, escorts, drivers, and guides for all group activities, and all hotel and Cuban departure taxes. During the trip, you'll attend 3 different baseball games in 3 different stadiums in and around Havana. You'll see games at a game at Estadio Latinoamericano, home of the Los Industriales team in Havana. Also Estadio Nelson Fernandez, home of the Mayabec Hurricanes in San Jose de los Lajas, and Estadio Victoria de Giron, home of the Matazanas Crocodiles in nearby Matazanas. We'll also visit many historical and cultural sites and have the opportunity to meet with Cuban baseball representatives to learn all about the different levels of the Cuban baseball system. One other nice thing is that we'll visit the 2 Ernest Hemingway residences in Cuba. One which was in a still existing hotel, and then the other which was an actual home that he had owned. Moving on to Induction Weekend in July. Each year, tens of thousands of people descend upon Cooperstown to see the greatest baseball players honored by the National Baseball Hall of Fame. This year, Ken Griffey Jr. and Mike Piazza are going to be inducted in late July. Currently, we have 4 packages that we're offering and 3 different baseball road trips that we had previously gone over that include Induction Weekend. All of the packages kind of build upon each other. So I'll go into detail for our base hit package and then point out what is additional or different on the other packages. So 3 days, 2 nights, hotel, daily breakfast, round-trip airport transfers from Albany International Airport if your clients happen to be flying in. If they're driving in, they can park their car at the hotel for free and they really won't need it again until the trip's over. If they happen to be taking Amtrak into Albany, it's approximately a $30 cab ride from the Amtrak station to the hotel. Round-trip motor coach transfers or event transfers are included for the Saturday and Sunday events. There's also a welcome dinner reception on Friday evening. The package includes unlimited unlimited admission to the Baseball Hall of Fame on Saturday and Sunday. Also included is a one-year membership, which means that if you come back to the Hall of Fame anytime within that next year, you will not have to pay to enter because that's part of your membership. It includes the Hall of Fame Awards presentation and Parade of Legends on Saturday. The awards presentation is when they give out the two journalism awards, one for print journalism and one for broadcast journalism. This takes place at Doubleday Field, which is about a block and a half down Main Street from the Hall of Fame, and it takes place at 4:30 on Saturday afternoon. And then following the awards presentation at 6 is the Parade of Legends. The Parade of Legends is where all of the returning Hall of Famers plus the class of 2016 parade down Main Street in open-air vehicles, with the parade ending at the front doorstep of the Baseball Hall of Fame. The way they do this is the players come down in order of the year that they were inducted. So if there's whatever the I guess the furthest back year that they still has players that are alive and in attendance, they will come first, and then each successive year after that, with the class of 2016 bringing up the rear of the parade. On Sunday, reserved seating for the induction ceremony is included. Also, a box meal is included for Induction Sunday. Prices are $8.25 per person based on double occupancy. This is at the Best Western Albany Airport. Now we have our extra innings package, which is almost identical to the base hit package that we just went over, except for this is at a different hotel. It's at the Radisson Hotel Albany, and the additional features are it has a one extra night hotel, so this package is from Friday to Monday, and the Monday event back in Cooperstown is the Legends of the Game Roundtable. This is a 45-minute question and answer session hosted by a moderator featuring the class of 2016. And one of the nice things of coming back on Monday is that Cooperstown is significantly less crowded, so you do have additional time to go back to the Hall of Fame, and you're just not dealing with the same, same crowds. It's much easier to get around. You have a little bit more time to see things in a relaxed manner. Our infield package is identical to the base hit in that it's 3 days, 2 nights. It does have an upgraded hotel at the Albany Marriott, and then instead of regular reserved seating that we provide in the kind of general admission area, this has seating within the VIP section. So we'll be in the section immediately behind the friends and family of the players and dignitaries of the Baseball Hall of Fame, Major League Baseball, and all of those types of people. Other than that, it's identical to the base hit. And then we have our home run package, and where this adds to the extra innings package is that it has the VIP seating, and the extra innings package does not. It also features what's called the Artifact Spotlight, and the Artifact Spotlight is where the small group meets with the one of the museum curators from the Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum, and they bring out a number of artifacts. Generally, some of these during induction weekend are going to pertain to the 2 players that are being inducted, and they go over these artifacts, tell about their history, maybe what their use is, any interesting anecdotes from whatever the piece is, and you have the ability to ask questions of the curator. So it's a real great session for baseball fans to find out about. When I was there last year, for example, they had a set of cleats from Tom Glavine. They also had Craig Biggio's, I think, glove when he played with the Astros. So just lots of interesting things with a lot of interesting stories. This particular package also comes with a 34-inch commemorative baseball bat that's themed either after Ken Griffey Jr. or Mike Piazza. It's one per person, and they can choose which themed bat they want. The bat will, for example, if it's a Ken Griffey Jr. that they choose, the bat's going to be teal. It will have Ken Griffey Jr.'s autograph burnt into the wood, as well as his lifetime statistics. The other package that we were offering that is sold out was identical to the home run, except it came with an autographed baseball from your choice of inductee, and it also featured a hotel that was closer into Cooperstown. It was Marriott Courtyard in Oneonta, which is only about 25 minutes from Cooperstown, instead of a hotel in Albany, which was approximately an hour and 15 minutes from Cooperstown. I will also mention that we can do custom baseball packages during regular season or for whatever type of event it is. It's great for small to large groups. Minimum requirements would be 2 nights hotel plus game tickets, but we can then add in anything else that your clients would need to complete the package, whether it's game day transportation in the form of transfers or a rental car, different activities and events throughout the location that they're staying at. For groups, though, of less than 6 people, we do charge a $50 non-refundable deposit before we quote out packages. So that is our presentation. I do see that we've gotten a number of questions that have come in, so let me bring up the question module and start answering questions. First question is, do we expect our Baseball Hall of Fame packages to sell out soon? So the one package that was already sold out probably in February, and it did so because we knew we only had a certain number of rooms and we could not add to that. I do expect, though, that sometime between now and let's say mid-June, other packages will start selling out. Probably the home run will be sold out in the next week or two. We should at least have the base hit or the extra innings package available up until maybe early July. Next question is there a way to reserve space for future years Baseball Hall of Fame inductions? And the answer to that is yes. We're actively taking deposits and have been taking deposits for up through 2020. The way that works is it's a fully refundable $200 per person deposit. That will guarantee your kind of place in line when we have the packages available. And let's do the example of 2020, which would be for Derek Jeter of the Yankees. That would be his first year of eligibility. Sometime in late October, early November of 2019, our packages will be finalized, and before we make them available to the general public, we'll reach out via email and phone to all of the people that are under deposit, give them a chance to choose from the different packages that are available. Once they've done that, give them about a 2 to 3 week window, then we release them to the general public. At any point in time between the time they deposit and the time they make the packages available, if they choose to cancel, then we fully refund their money. We don't hold anything back. And so that's how that works. Let's see, next question is, got someone that's asked how to be a host or escort to the tour. Well, what I would ask you is if you want to reach out to me offline, either by phone or by email, go ahead and take my contact information down. You know, from year to year, there always is that possibility. The next question is asking about game tickets. Where typically would we have game tickets for the different baseball road trips? Each trip can vary a little bit from game to game. We try to have seats ideally in the 100 level, either on the first or third base side, no further out than the edge of the infield cutout. Depending on the matchup and depending on the stadium, ticket demands can be such that we may not be able to secure seats in those areas, and so we may have to move up to a 200 or 300 level at around the edge of the infield cutout. In places like Wrigley Field, Fenway Park, we may be a little bit further into the outfield, somewhere halfway between the edge of the dirt and the warning track at the outfield. But for the most part, we're in the lower levels and not too far outside of the infield. All right, I do not see any other questions at this time, but I do want to thank all of you for taking the time out of your afternoon or late morning to join me. As I mentioned earlier, please don't hesitate to reach out by phone or email if you have any further questions, especially if you need some information on a product other than baseball, since that was the theme today. I'd be more than happy to spend a little time going over our football packages. In fact, we are just releasing now our 3-day, 2-night home game packages for a number of NFL teams. Cowboys home game packages are available right now online, but we will also have out shortly home game packages for all New York Jets, New York Giants, Buffalo Bills, San Francisco 49ers, Minnesota Vikings, Green Bay Packers, Arizona Cardinals, and Chicago Bears home games. So look for those in the coming weeks, but as I said, the Cowboys packages are available, and hopefully you'll have clients that will be interested in these. So thanks again, and have a great afternoon.